Hello, travelers. I am Thomas the Human Bard. I'm joined today by...
Mercy, the Tiefling Wizard.
And Onog, the half-orc barbarian.
And today we are all off together on a side quest. We're on a side quest.
Content ID.
I know, yeah. I also don't want to talk about Star Wars anymore. On this side quest, we're talking about the most recent Unearthed
Thomas,
Arcana
you promised we wouldn't get political.
I know. Oh boy. Unearthed Arcana 2020, Subclasses, Part 1. But for us, Part 2, because we already did the first one. On this episode, we'll be discussing the new subclass put forward in this document, the Monk Way of Mercy.
It me.
It you. It Mercy.
Guys, I'm multi-classed. I'm a monk now.
You're a monk now. You're a
That's
whole
not how your
subclass.
stats work.
You don't know her stats.
I
She's been
explicitly
putting
don't.
points in the Constitution.
I've been building up an immunity.
An immunity to
monks.
multi-classing.
So, the Monk Way of Mercy. Overall, as soon as we get into it, you'll realize it, but this is like the Plague Doctor Monk, which is kind of sick. So, let's start it off here.
Very.
And also
Monks of
sick.
the Way... And also, yeah. Now that you say it, I realize that's what I said. Monks of the Way of Mercy learn to manipulate the life force of others to bring aid to those in need. They are wandering physicians to the poor and hurt. However, to those beyond their help, whether ailing or evil, they bring a swift end as an act of mercy. Those who follow the Way of Mercy might be humble members of a religious order, administering to those in greatest need, making grim choices rooted in reality rather than idealism. Some might be gentle-voiced healers, beloved by their communities, while others might be masked bringers of macabre mercies. How many times do you think they're going to say mercy throughout this? The walkers of this way usually don simple robes with deep cowls. They often conceal their faces with masks, presenting themselves as the faceless bringers of life and death. If you wear a mask, choose its appearance, or determine it randomly by rolling on the merciful mask table.
So that's some really cool options.
What'd we get, Onog?
3.
Crying Visage.
These are all very cool.
Yeah, we've got Raven, Blank and White, Crying Visage, Laughing Visage, Skull, Butterfly.
I'm into it.
Or,
Can I have a skull butterfly?
Big White Beak is the other option, I believe.
I believe that is an option.
That would be. I like that. It's like, you can totally just pick one. Or also, these are the ones that they are.
You can pick one,
Yeah.
or from this list, or pick one.
Please, just pick
Just
one.
you also have to wear a mask for some reason.
So, right off the bat, overall, there's already not a good doctor in D&D. This isn't a good one. And I just want to know, this sadly is not the cool, like, field medic class we've all been hoping for. It is just a monk class. And it's a little weird to me that they were like, who would be the plague doctors of D&D? Monks!
Yeah,
It's-
I didn't
I
even
see what
realize that's the flavor they were going for, because
Yeah.
I think it's because
Didn't
of
even
like key
register that.
points and life energy, and like
guess.
that's kind of the vibe.
You would
they're
just
looking
think
at.
it'd be like clerics, though, right?
Well, and I
You
think
would
they're
think
expanding
that.
out the concept of, like, because everyone's like, we need to go to a healer. What? Go to the guy who knows about medicine? No, go to the magic guy who worships,
Punches you until you get healed.
To
who
be fair,
worships
though,
Helios.
saying
Yeah.
that clerics
Helios.
would be the healers versus monks being the healers, it does bring to mind just sort of an Eastern and Western thing where it's like, if a cleric is your healer, it's specifically like, well, I prayed and you got better. It's like God went through me and made you get better.
Yeah.
Whereas having a monk healer that's doing it through ki feels much more like Taoism.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that
Manipulating life
it
energy.
makes sense, but when you
Sure.
picture it as like a British plague doctor, you then go,
which
that
is
doesn't
like
make
the
sense.
flavor they're apparently going for.
Kind of. I mean, it never officially says that, but
But
it's
then, yeah.
hard to not see it when they give it a mask.
I'm
and
just
a
saying that
cowl
we
and
might
some of the
be
other bits.
having
Sure.
a closed view of it.
That's fair. Third level, Implements of Mercy. You gain proficiency in the Insight or Medicine skill, and you gain proficiency with the Herbalism and the Poisoner's Kit.
Woof.
Proficiency's third level, nothing too crazy, but it's good. Herbalism and Poisoner's Kits are how you can, in the official rules, make poison and theoretically healing potions. So that's nice.
Makes sense.
Oh, Nog, what's the next ability?
All right, the next ability is the Hands of Healing, 3rd level, Way of Mercy feature. Your mystical touch can mend wounds. As an action, you can spend 1 key point to touch a creature and restore a number of hit points equal to a roll of your martial arts die and your wisdom modifier. When you use your flurry of blows, you can replace one of the unarmed strikes with the use of this feature without spending its key cost. Which is an interesting combination of actions.
Well, you can do it on yourself.
Yeah, you can do it on yourself.
It's you can punch twice and then touch your soul
And then punch life
heal
into
yourself. Yeah,
And I'm going to punch joy into me.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. The monk it's just always weird because it's like I heal you with my punches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that it's not. It's like chakras.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
get
But
it.
yeah,
but it's
it's
also
like I
punches.
actually think really flavorful. This is kind of cool, and it is one of those things where they are clearly drawing the parallel that they want this to be, like the yin and yang, like balance of life and death person, where it's like
Yeah.
as they wound someone else, they can also heal their friends or themselves, kind of a thing. Or if you want to be real cheeky, you can just then heal right back up the damage you just caused and go, just pull a power move on them.
You can just slap your friend to like knock them out of like a hysteria, but then also slap them again, but the second slap heals them. Very good.
I actually very much love that.
Mercy, can you read the next one for us?
I can. Hands of Harm. You use your key to inflict wounds. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can spend 1 key point to deal extra necrotic damage equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die. If the creature is incapacitated or poisoned, the creature instead takes necrotic damage equal to 3 rolls of your martial arts die instead. Did it say instead twice?
It
Yeah,
does.
it did.
It says it
Oh,
instead twice.
look at that. You can use
It's
this
Unearthed
feature.
Arcana. Hey.
You can use this feature only once on each of your turns.
Yeah. I like
pretty cool.
the 2 abilities: Hands of Healing, Hands of Harm. I feel like that's the tattoos you have on one on each of your hands. This is my hand of healing. This is my hand of harm. Gotta watch out. Check
Love it.
yourself. Yeah.
That's good.
I think it's cool that it there's a complexity with the multiplication of damage based on a previous condition. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen too much in D&D, where it's like if they're already stunned, deal extra damage. Mm-hmm. But it's cool. It's a cool way to flavor it of like your goal is to incapacitate or poison them first, and then do this to them because that will always give you the most benefit.
Well, and I think this is kind of like where it's bringing in the flavor of like they kill people as a mercy, where it's like if this person is already dying, you can then just kind of coup de grace them and just kill them real quick. But also it's interesting to note that an incapacitated character, I believe, every melee attacks automatically crit on them. So it's like not only are you doing 3 more dice worth of damage, you're doing 6 more dice worth of damage on them, and also everything else.
And also more of you. I think it's literally what you just said, though. This is the like, I've got the horrible plague that we literally can't risk bringing into town and infecting anyone with, and there's no way of curing it.
So I'm going to touch this person.
Well, no, but it's like so it's knocked me unconscious, and the party monk healer kind of like bringer of life and death is like, it's too risky, we can't do it, I better just put him out of his misery now, and just like crit multiply necrotic damage. Like there's no way I'm living through this.
So this is a hot take, controversial opinion.
Doctors shouldn't kill people for fun.
I kind of wish that there was a better thing than just saying if someone's incapacitated that you automatically crit, because I think it is annoying a lot of the time that then you look at an ability and then you have to remember, oh, it's not actually 3. Like, I wish it just was what it said. But I get that it makes sense that they do, but then it's also weird where it tells you like, oh, and if you get hit, you lose a death saving throw, but it's secretly always 2 death saving throws, but we don't say that. But yeah, and so I just feel like it creates like an unnecessary need for you to remember things aren't what they said that they were.
Technically, it's if you take damage, you make a death saving throw.
Right.
But that's
and if someone attacks you,
if
it
wasn't
automatically
an
crits.
attack, but you got damage, like
Sure,
from fire
then
or
it's just
something.
one,
It's
yeah.
just the one,
But mostly it's because someone punches you, and then
Yeah.
you have to remember,
It's
like,
2.
oh wait, it doesn't
Now,
say
actually,
that, which I just think
we
is
do
a
have to
barrier
do
for
a bit
new
of a
players.
redaction. A bit of a redaction. Incapacitated, while it is normally accompanies other paralyzed effects, and while it doesn't make sense outside of that, not being that, all incapacitated means is an incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions.
Oh.
However,
So
the
it's
reason we're
unconscious.
conflating these ideas is because paralyzed automatically also inflicts the incapacitated
I think
condition.
unconscious does as well.
Yeah, so does
Yes.
unconscious. And
Yeah,
so what
which is
we're
what we were
thinking
thinking
of
of.
is paralyzed and unconscious where anything within 5 feet of the attack is an automatic critical hit.
And yet again, the difference between incapacitated, unconscious, paralyzed are all splitting hairs, but also incredibly different, apparently.
And
But
I
even
just
though
think it makes it
everything
a
that-
little bit unnecessarily difficult for new
Yeah.
players who haven't memorized the rulebook, you know?
Definitely,
And it's one of those things, where everything that causes the incapacitated state normally also causes, with the exception of
What about the
stunned,
other ones?
also causes that critical hits of melee attacks, attacks within 5 feet are automatic,
Right.
with
So then,
with
like,
one
just call stun,
exception. So it's
stun.
one of those things where it's like,
Complicate something.
there's a rare scenario in which you are being incapacitated and it's not doing crit damage.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying just call stun because that's the only one that doesn't also do
Yeah.
other things. So like, just don't have incapacitated. Just have them be their own things.
Yeah. Yeah. Complicated rules, like finicky semantics bits. Let's move on to the next ability. Noxious Aura, 6th level Way of Mercy feature. This is one that I also saw a couple of comments being like, this one doesn't feel like it fits, and a couple of people gave some ideas of how it could fit, but it's harder to work into the vibe they're going for.
This is one of those ones where it like explicitly gives a specific kind of flavor that you may have not wanted up until this point.
Exactly. As a bonus action, you spend 1 key point to turn your key into an aura of toxic miasma. The aura extends 5 feet from you in every direction, but not through total cover. It lasts for 1 minute until you are incapacitated, or you dismiss it. No action required. While your aura is active, ranged attacks have disadvantage against you. Any other creature that starts its turn in the aura must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or become poisoned until the end of your next turn and take poison damage equal to your Wisdom modifier, minimum of 0 damage. There's like a lot folded into this, and it's a little weird that it's like, also I have a poison smoke screen now. I'm a doctor. Also I have a poison smoke screen.
Yeah, like mechanically, this is clearly to facilitate the previous ability of the triple necrotic damage if you strike a poisoned creature.
Yeah.
This is clearly a or a minimal resource way to try and poison someone.
I actually kind of like it.
I don't dislike the ability. I
mean the flavor.
I don't get the flavor. You're like, I'm a wandering doctor who helps the poor and downtrodden. Also, I can conjure poison.
I think,
it's
again,
one of those
like,
ones where I do start breaking from the flavor of it, where it's like,
Yeah.
this is a specific thing and may or may not have necessarily been what you thought this subclass was going to be with those first couple of abilities.
I think again though, I'm not picturing like a doctor. Like I just think when
But
you
even
say
like
doctor,
any
you're not
culture's
picturing
doctor,
the same.
any culture's wandering healer, it is antithetical to healers to poison random people around
Yeah,
them.
they also don't walk around in black robes with crying masks on permanently.
don't
Like
know
we're
that.
doing a
You don't
spooky
know
thing.
that.
So I'm like, okay.
I guess I just wish, instead of then saying it's called the Way of Mercy and it's all about giving mercy to the sick and like giving merciful deaths to the evil, it was just called like the Way of like
the Grim Reaper.
the Way of the Reaper or the Way
Yeah.
of Poison Control.
Honestly, calling it
that's
the Way
the
of the
thing,
Reaper
too.
or something would be cool.
Is
Yeah.
because doing incremental poison damage to someone also doesn't feel in flavor with how it's described that you deal death. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you're dealing death as a release from suffering, and you're just explicitly causing suffering with this
You're
ability.
just like mustard gassing the people around you,
Instead
which
of
is
having
like
it be
torture.
like you kill them more quickly, like most of the abilities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
where
little
it's like,
weird.
numbers wise, this is saying I kill them quickly because I'm doing more damage. But like flavor wise, this is I'm explicitly causing the issue I'm supposedly trying to prevent.
Sure.
That's what it feels like. It feels weirdly antithetical to it to me. Of
Yeah,
like,
that's the angle we're coming
I'm
from.
here-
Is that like in the flavor
Yeah.
it has presented, this feels out of place.
I'm here to stop the sickness and suffering of others. One of my abilities is to cause sickness and suffering. Feels weird to me. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is for me, I like that ability with all the other abilities. I think it's just that first paragraph needs to be
That's what I'm saying.
rewritten for
And
it.
that's kind of what we've been running up into with all of these Unearthed Arcanas, is that first flavor paragraph keeps giving us weird ideas of what the class is going to be, and then it directly contradicts that first paragraph.
It reminds me of when I feel like sometimes with a movie, when you've already recorded all the songs or something, and then you rewrite the plot, but you don't change the songs, and you're like, these still fit, right?
I mean, what movie could you be explicitly talking about?
What? But yeah, I think that you get that with these a little bit. Where it's like maybe they had already decided a flavor, but then you workshop and you change up your abilities for a really long time, but maybe you don't revisit that flavor and you're, you know.
And this is one of those scenarios where I think, like, if you do ignore the explicit flavor they're going for, you can have these kind of, like, morally gray, like, kind of almost bordering on evil, like, monks, you know, that are these, like, dealers of death and suffering, but also they can heal you. And, like, you can come up to them and, like, you know, beg them for healing and mercy like you would any cleric, but you don't know if they're going to actually give that to you or if they're just going to decide to poison you instead, you know, kind of a thing.
That's cool.
When it's just as likely for the monk to, like, walk out of a town having just poisoned all of its inhabitants as it is to him having cured all of their inhabitants, it's weird for me for the opening flavor paragraph to be like, you could be a gentle-voiced healer beloved by your community.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird
It's
to
like
me
that isn't actually an option if you
possible.
could have done this the whole time.
When then everything after that is like, oh, we goth now, boys.
Sort of edgy
like,
goth.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to wear a Plague Doctor outfit in the modern sense of, like, Plague Doctor outfits are kind of spooky.
Yeah.
So he's got... But in the actual, during the plague sense... They were
practical.
doctors.
They were
just
trying to help.
They were just
they
there
weren't
to help.
gassing people.
There were, like, legends that it's like they, like, carried the plague around with them and were like Grim Reapers, but the real people were mostly just doctors doing the best with the little science
with
they
the
had.
hazmat suits they could make with what they had.
Exactly. So it's just, there's a couple different flavors butting against each other.
Yeah.
But mechanically, I will say, I really like what's going on.
Yeah, mechanically this
I
fits
love
right in with the previous
getting
ability.
everyone in my poison cloud, boom, hit him with all that necrotic
yeah.
damage, heal myself up from earlier. Like, it's sick. I'm into it. Mercy, can you read the next one for us?
I sure can. Healing technique. Your skill in manipulating your key to heal increases. When you restore hit points to a creature using your hands of healing, you can also end one disease or a condition from the following list affecting the target: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, you got in my
like,
cloud. Oh, sorry. Let me fix that
Ooh,
for you.
See, because what's interesting about this is this immediately brings to mind the sort of Middle East and Far Eastern idea of the wandering prophet performing miracles.
Yeah.
Bringing sight to the blind, hearing to the deaf, healing the leper. But then also I can make a poison cloud, and that's like where it gets weird.
I mean, you read the Old Testament, though?
I mean, in
True,
the
I
New
guess.
Testament, Christ does, like, super smite a tree because he's like, you didn't have enough fruit, and I'm mad about that.
Kinda, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's not what the actual interpretation of that scripture is, but I like to think of it like that.
100% canonical. We are theologians.
Official.
We've interpreted
We
the Bible
went
correctly.
to theologian school,
Yeah.
all of us.
Theologian school.
Yep.
Can you read us the final one, Onog?
Sure. Hands of mercy. Hey! Or, sorry, hand of
It's
mercy.
your hand. It's
Just
one
one
of
hand.
your hands.
I need that back.
All right, this is the level 17 capstone ability of this subclass. Your mastery with life energy opens the door to the ultimate respite technique. I don't know why it wasn't called that instead, the ultimate respite technique.
It's called good nap.
Good nap. As an action, you can touch a creature and expend 4 key points and force the creature to make a Constitution saving throw. A creature can willingly fail this save. Unless the save succeeds, the creature enters a state of suspended animation for a number of days equal to your monk level or until you
17.
end the effect early. No action required. During this time, the creature is paralyzed, has immunity to all damage, and any curse, disease, or poison affecting it is suspended. The creature appears dead to all outward inspection and to spells and to determine the creature's status. You can have only one creature under the effect of this feature
cool.
at a time.
This ability is sick, and it leads to the funniest rule tip ever. Rule tip. You're a creature.
I love that so much.
Yeah, oh yeah.
By the way, this whole time you've been a creature.
By the way, I don't know if you knew this.
That's
Are a being.
That's the M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end.
You've
You
been
were a creature the whole time. Yeah.
But honestly, though, that's like to remind you, hey, you can put yourself in suspended animation.
And
if
you can heal yourself.
Cryo sleep.
I'm dying. Guys, bring me back to town. Boom. I go out. I'm unconscious
Very good.
now. Yeah.
It is weird that it's
Just hit
instead
the
of
eject
saying,
button on a combat. Just whoop, later.
Instead of saying if it fails, it says unless the save succeeds.
Yeah.
Which is just weird. I don't.
Yeah,
why is it doing, am I
it's
missing
an
something?
Unearthed Arcana thing where they're like, let's try different wording.
Yeah. I mean, because they can willingly fail, it's phrasing it more as because you want them, or they probably want this to be happening to them. Mm-hmm. But you could theoretically use it as a weapon.
Yeah, so it's posing
Right.
it as not the default.
But
Like you
yeah,
could knock out the big bad and make his
Sure.
underlings think you just killed him in one hit, and
But
now
it's
how
presenting
powerful
it
are
as-
you? Behold your my wrath, kind of a thing.
It's presenting it as not going to be used as a weapon most often.
That's how you freeze them in carbonite and bring them back to get your bounty.
Yeah, it's the carbonite.
Or
freeze.
if you wanted to, like, hey guys, look, I killed this guy. Actually, he's my best friend, and I'm just turning him in for the bringing him in dead
him.
bounty, and then we just go dig him up 3 days later.
Yeah.
That's how you get out of jail. You just pull a Jack Sparrow / pull a Count of Monte Cristo and like pretend to be dead, climb into the coffin, they throw you out of prison, and then you wake up.
Now, it is
Question.
interesting to note, it says you are immune to all damage. However,
Yeah.
there is one instance that I can think of that is only referenced in the Dungeon Master's Guide that is something that says, like, you cannot avoid X damage. And it is the, oh gosh, I can't remember what it's explicitly called, but it's the good version of the Book of Vile Deeds.
The book of dope deeds.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Sorry to kill all of that momentum.
Book of exalted deeds.
Yeah, or sorry, the Book of Vile Darkness and the Book of Exalted Deeds, where it's one of those things where it's like if you try to, or if like the book is opened and it's opened to like an evil character, the book like makes you make a saving throw, and if you fail, like it explodes radiant damage at you, and you cannot prevent any of the damage no matter what. So I'm imagining this monk like knocking out an evil character and then just opening the book at them. And just like literally pinning them down and making them read the Bible, and it explodes them.
I don't know about the validity of that combat tactic, but I like the vibe you're going for.
Yeah, it's like read, boom.
That's great. Is it saying that, so there's no action required to end the effect? Is that to get around saying, I know, I'll cast it on myself. Oh, wait, I can't.
You can't
get
take
out.
an action now.
But
yeah.
if there's no action required, then can I release myself from it, even though I'm unconscious?
It does not. Well, that's the thing.
Or am I unconscious?
It does not say that you are unconscious. It says.
Oh, that's terrifying.
No.
It says you appear dead to all outward inspection.
And
that
you are paralyzed, but it doesn't say
Yes.
you are unconscious.
Oh,
Correct.
gosh. You're just going to get buried alive and not be able to.
But
do
you don't need to
anything
breathe,
about it.
so there's that.
But
That's nice.
the psychological ramifications.
I guess technically, wait a minute. Oh no. Oh no. It doesn't say you don't need to breathe.
Then I think it.
So-
Well, but you're immune to damage.
Well, okay, so you begin suffocating and you start rolling for suffocation damage, but then you are immune to the damage. So then you don't take it. So are you actively suffocating
But cannot die.
But cannot die?
Yes. But I would say
don't
because it requires no action and it doesn't say you are unconscious, you can choose whenever
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
end.
You could choose to end it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think you necessarily would. I think the idea if you're immune to damage, like you're not experiencing pain if you can't be damaged, I would think.
I don't remember
Guys,
amplification
well,
works in
I don't
D&D.
think you're immune to the pain, but I think it just doesn't do anything. I also just got a very cool infiltration technique with this ability.
Okay.
Like, and this is how you know, and I'm just going to stop real quick and just say, this is how you know this is actually a really cool ability. It's because we're just sitting here going like, this would be so cool to use it
weird
in
stuff.
Yeah.
in this scenario. So
Gets your
you use it
imagination.
on yourself. You're sieging a city, and you have them fling you into the city with a trebuchet.
A catapult. Okay.
You land, you take no damage, and you just wake up and start going to work.
If you cast it on yourself, you can just like insta do it for to dodge damage.
Like, guys, shoot me out of the cannon.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I'm just gonna jump off this cliff. I make myself unconscious to fall off the cliff as soon as I hit bottom. I'm
And
not
like,
unconscious.
even if it's
That's great.
1,000 feet down, you still, and your normal slow fall wouldn't be able to prevent all the damage. You can just go, nope, and then fall.
That feels like I found a glitch in Skyrim or something.
Yeah,
Where I was like, guys, I figured out if I
it's
hold out my shield,
definitely
I can't die if I
it's-
jump off a cliff.
it's definitely if you encase them in ice, they can't take fall damage when you knock them off the
Yeah.
cliff in Skyrim.
Yeah.
It is exactly that thing.
Yep. It does cost 4 key points, and it is an action.
I mean, at
So-
17th level, that is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, but I am just saying it is like there are resources required. You can't
Right.
just turn it on and off at will, like willy-nilly forever. So you can't dodge literally every turn. Be like, and at the end of my turn, I become invincible and unconscious. And
Right.
At the start of my next turn, I turn it off.
Can you imagine you're fighting someone and every 6 seconds they pass out and then they stand back
But when
up?
they're passed out and you're punching them, they're immune to your damage.
Sorry,
You
did you
can't
say
bruise them.
the Pokemon metagame? Sorry.
Did you say that's how Pokemon works?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there are legitimate builds where the whole point is that you use rest to heal all your health, and then there are items that instantly wake you up. So it's like, this Pokemon just keeps passing out in front of me and healing all of my damage I just did, and that's literally this ability.
Wait a minute.
Go for it.
As an action. Okay. So okay. A paralyzed creature cannot take actions. Is that correct? Or is it
Yes,
they cannot move?
because they are incapacitated,
They can't
as
take
we've
actions.
discussed earlier.
Okay. So, what could happen, though, if you have 2 of these in a party? Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. If you have 2 Way of Mercy monks in a party, one of them is made paralyzed by the final ability, Hand of Mercy, and they are now invulnerable to all damage. The other one uses their Hands of Healing on them to cure the paralyzed condition. The other conditions all remain. Only the paralyzed condition is healed.
Wait,
they are
no.
now immune to all damage
No, it does work though. It works.
for 17 days.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
You cannot be damaged for 17 days.
But now you are awake and oh man.
Because only cure or curses, diseases, and poisons are suspended, not other effects or spells.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Guys, I think I just accidentally figured it out.
We
Yeah.
accidentally broke the game. And I definitely peaked, and I'm sorry about the audio.
Oh man.
That's incredible. And then now that you can move, you can do it back to the other guy. And now both of you are immune. And you can just walk in with just like theme music playing behind you as like fire
Oh my
bounces
gosh.
off of you.
Like, that's a great, like, twin flavored, and this is like a level 17 ability, so you're not breaking the universe real early. You're in
you
end
gotta get
game
to
where you're
17.
fighting gods that are trapping you in end space. kind of
There's no way they planned for you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They don't want
Oh
you
my
to do
gosh,
that.
no, because you can just walk around for 17 days and you get key points back on a short rest. You can just keep doing this. You can just keep doing this the moment you find any safety.
gosh.
I'm imagining like a twin brothers or sisters scenario that have like one of them
Double
is
dragon.
death and the other is life, and now like, you know, they are representative of that, and they keep doing this to each other.
And at a certain point, literally, though, you are immortal because monks become immortal.
Yeah,
eventually.
literally.
So you're immortal and immune to all damage.
Can someone die of old age if they're immune to damage?
Well, no, monks are literally immortal, though. That's
No,
what I'm saying.
I know, but
Well,
I
they
just mean in
cannot die
general.
of the effects of old age, which would be like your liver failing because you're old. Like, and
Right.
you
also
already
says-
can't get diseases, so you cannot die of natural causes, which means you would need to have died of getting murdered.
It also definitely says a state of suspended animation, which I would argue would mean that they do not age while in that state. Because
Well, they're
Yeah,
already not
suspended
aging.
Yes.
animation.
I think
Yes,
at
you
level
don't
13 or something, they're
never go
not
to the
they're
bathroom
not
again.
aging.
Yeah. So
Can't
they're not
sleep.
aging through those days, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But just one in general in D&D, if you have a old NPC
You make them
who's
immune to
dying of old
damage.
age, if you make them immune to damage, can they
No,
die?
I think
They can still
I- 'cause
die
they can gain levels of
exhausted. Yeah.
There you go.
you hit that sixth
There you
level
go.
of exhaustion and you die. So.
Yeah, but in suspended animation, you're not
You don't gain
aging.
levels of exhaustion.
And yeah, you're not getting exhausted. So
Well, okay, Immortal Monks. That's our next campaign we're playing.
Everybody
I'm so
is
glad you
monks.
caught that.
Everyone is these monks.
that's wild.
I hope I'm the first person who's discovered this. I doubt that I am. I very strongly doubt that I am. But
We gotta
wizards,
post it.
wizards, come over here. I don't know if you noticed this. I've circled it in red for you. You might want to look at this.
Because
Oh,
yeah,
man.
all it takes is literally
Just two of them.
like 5 key points, and you have made 10 total key points, and you have made 2 immortal characters.
That's wild. That's crazy.
I love it. Very good. Okay. We'll end it there. Overall, real quick final thought summary. Mercy, go.
Very cool. Very goth. Big fan. Love it.
Okay, wow, that's very positive.
I like it a lot.
Alright.
I mean, I see what you're saying about the flavor feeling a little odd. And I agree that the initial description, it didn't really make sense when I was like, you're a doctor who helps the poor. Choose your plague mask.
Yeah.
Feels weird, but just going off of the actual abilities and
you
how it's
just-
described,
If it was pitched
very
to you as
cool.
edgy goth poison
oh,
boy.
that
yeah.
really appeals to me.
Really.
Like, I would play this. I like it a lot.
Great. Onog, final thoughts.
Well, first of all, I would have to agree completely with Mercy in that it's like, I love these abilities. They need to be separated from whatever flavor they've been given, and they need to just stand on their own, because these are amazing. And I definitely don't want to spoil anything, but I have definitely been inspired for some new villains in a future campaign of 2 monks who just kind of hang around each other and make each other immortal.
No, there's no way to fix that. You can't
Encase
fight
them in
that.
concrete and just bury them forever.
They're just alive forever, though. They don't.
No,
need to
it'll
breathe.
wear
No,
off. If
they
they're
have
not
to.
together,
They have
can't
to be
keep-
able
keep
to
doing
touch
it.
each other to get it to work.
Oh, if you
Yeah.
separate them for 17
you
days.
encase them both in concrete and
Okay.
separate them.
Okay, I guess
That's
if
the
you
only
separate
way.
them. Fine. All right, my final thoughts are: some of the mechanics are really cool, but I'm gonna go with my official stamp of needs more time in the oven. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but
I don't know if you
Yeah.
if you noticed the infinite health combo that just got made.
There are definitely some places to refine, but overall,
sure.
I think it's a really cool vibe.
great. Listeners, let us know what you think. Are you going to make a double dragon brother-sister combo who just are immortal forever? Of course you are. But what are their names going to be? Comment below. Let us know what you're naming them. Like the video and subscribe for future D&D content. Follow us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter at thecopperfoxinn.
And send us your homebrews.
Send us your homebrews to our Gmail, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com. And somebody tell wizards. Somebody.
Does anyone have Mike's number?
Does anyone have Jeremy Crawford's direct line? I
Yes, it's called Twitter.
I have a point to bring up. And until next time, keep on adventuring.
And no one can even die now.